Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into Dr. Peter Attia's book, Outlive. It's a book that's all about giving us a completely new playbook for how we think about getting older, and it all starts with one really powerful idea.
This quote, it's basically the whole idea of the book in a nutshell. It's this massive call to action to stop focusing on just treating people once they're already sick, pulling them out of the river, and instead to go upstream and figure out how to stop them from falling in the first place.
And for Dr. Attia, this wasn't just some abstract theory. While he was a surgeon at Johns Hopkins, this whole idea actually came to him in a dream. Well, more like a recurring nightmare.
Yeah, a dream that showed him a huge, frustrating flaw in his own work as a top-tier cancer surgeon.
So imagine this. He's standing on a sidewalk, and eggs are just falling from the sky. He's got this basket, and he's running around like a maniac trying to catch them all. But it's impossible. Most of them just smash on the ground. Splat, splat. You can just feel the helplessness, right?
And pretty quickly, he figured it out. That dream, it was his day job. Every single one of those falling eggs was a patient. As a surgeon, he was one of the best in the world at catching the eggs, performing these insanely complicated surgeries. But the heartbreaking truth was, even when he performed a perfect surgery, most of his patients would still be gone in a few years.
So he's asking himself this question, right? What are we really accomplishing here? And that question, well, it changed everything. It made him walk away from his career in surgery and completely rethink his entire approach to medicine.
He realized the answer wasn't about getting a bigger basket or running faster. Nope. The real solution was to go find the person up on the roof who was throwing the eggs in the first place and stop them.
And this is the big shift he's talking about. Most of modern medicine, what he calls medicine 2.0, is reactive. You get sick, you go to the doctor, they treat the symptom. What he's proposing is medicine 3.0. This is all about being proactive. It's about preventing the disease from ever happening by getting to the root cause.
And that brings us to a really important idea, Healthspan. See, this isn't just about lifespan, how long you live. It's about healthspan, how long you live well. The number of years you're healthy, active, and free from chronic disease. It's all about the quality of those years, not just the quantity.
Okay, so if we're going to go upstream and be proactive, we need to know what we're up against, right? Attia identifies what he calls the Four Horsemen, the main things that lead to chronic disease and a slow decline as we get older.
You've got heart disease, the biggest killer out there. Cancer, which is basically cells going rogue. Neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, and metabolic dysfunction, think type 2 diabetes. The harsh reality is that one of these four is probably what's going to get most of us in the end. So the whole game of Medicine 3.0 is to push their arrival as far into the future as possible.
And this quote about heart disease, wow, it really hits home. It basically says that even if heart disease isn't what kills you, the process is already happening inside your body as you age. The seeds of all these diseases are planted decades before you ever feel a single symptom. That's why you got to start thinking about this stuff now.
All right, so we know the enemy, but how do we actually fight back? Well, there's no magic pill. Instead, Attia gives us a toolkit, a strategy built on 4 key pillars.
First up, and this is huge, is exercise. Attia doesn't pull any punches here. He calls it the single most powerful drug we have for extending our health span. Seriously, when it comes to fighting those 4 horsemen, he says nothing else even comes close.
Next up, nutrition. But hold on, this isn't about jumping on the latest diet trend. The goal is to stop asking, what's the best diet, and start asking, how can I use food as a tool to support my own body's metabolic health? It's all about your personal biology, not some one-size-fits-all plan.
Pillar number 3 is sleep. And let's be super clear, this is not a luxury. It's not something you can just catch up on over the weekend. Good, quality sleep is absolutely essential. It's when your body repairs itself, when your brain locks in memories. It's just non-negotiable for fighting off cognitive decline.
And finally, emotional health. Because let's face it, what's the point of living to be 100 if you're miserable, right? Having strong relationships, a sense of purpose, managing stress, this is just as critical as anything else in the longevity playbook.
So when you put all of this together, the goal isn't just about avoiding sickness. It's about something way more positive. It's about training today for the life you actually want to be living decades from now. And he has this amazing concept for it called the Centenarian Decathlon. Think of it like your personal Olympics for when you're 100 years old. You get to decide the 10 events. What are the 10 physical things you want to be able to do in your last decade?
Maybe it's lifting up your great-grandkid, or hiking a favorite trail, or carrying your own groceries up the stairs. You decide what matters to you, and then you start training for it. Today.
So, what's in your Centenarian Decathlon? Just thinking about that question changes everything, doesn't it? Suddenly, exercise isn't a chore anymore. It's training for a very specific, very personal, and very inspiring mission.
And really, that's the big message here. Your longevity, your health span, it's way more in your control than you probably think. Your genes are not your destiny. The choices you make right now, today, are what will define the quality of your tomorrow.
So the only question left is, what will you start training for today? Thanks for tuning in to this explainer. The amazing thing is, the power to write a healthier, more vibrant end to your story is totally in your hands.